Hi, it's Terry,
And Jen.
and today we wanted to do a bit of a follow-up about we talked about the June market last week and how 50% of all residential listings sold at or above list price. So what that means is basically that 50% of the market had a competitive situation. So today,
Well, today we want to talk about how to deal with that. So, say you wanted to put an offer on a house and you're competing, maybe some advice to help deal with that because it's a stressful situation, especially you want a house and you know you're competing. So, what advice do you give your clients?
yeah, well, we're working with lots of buyers right now, and sometimes we get the house and sometimes we don't. So it's a very difficult market for buyers and frustrating, and you can have 12 offers and only one person gets it, right? So how do you position yourselves to be in the best position to get the offer? So I think the number one, of course, is your financing. So you need to make sure that you've been to the bank, and the minute, I mean, you should be approved any this right now. You're out looking for houses. You've been pre-approved.
Before you're going into homes,
That's
you've
right.
already been to
That's
the
right.
bank.
So as soon as you see a house that's like, oh no, I want to make an offer, you should reach out to your banker, your mortgage broker, and get them the information for that house. They can, start on a bit of an approval on that house, and if you can get the go-ahead before you make the offer on a house, if you have time, that could put you in a real advantage. Because one of the biggest fears is, when you have competitive offers. So say someone has 5 offers, and they look, and one has financing, one doesn't, or one's got a 7-day financing, the other one has a 2 or 3 day. They're going to take the cleanest offer, more times than not.
Yeah, so if you have to put enough financing, if you can shorten that days from 5 to 7 to maybe 3 to 5,
or if your bank gives you the thumbs up, or if you feel comfortable with it, you take out the mortgage condition completely. So that's something that you have to decide with your banker or your mortgage broker.
Yeah. So one thing, we always suggest a home inspection. So we would never want someone to buy a house without a home inspection. Home inspectors can see things that we can't always see, and so that's always another condition that we put in. So how does some of your clients deal with that?
Well, one of the simplest ways to deal with that is do a pre-inspection. So before you make the offer, hire the home inspector and have them come through the house and do the full inspection. That way you can come in with an offer without the condition of selling a house. And again, when you're competing and 3 offers have that condition and yours doesn't, it's going to weigh heavily in your favor.
Yeah, which is risky because you're putting that money out and still may not get that house.
That's
then it also comes down to price.
It's a tough call. It's a tough. You're making an investment, and we had that exact scenario, and we got the house, and it also, I think, helped the sellers to understand these people are really committed to my house. So, and if you didn't really feel comfortable spending that that money on an inspector, if you had an extra set of eyes, your family, parents, tradespeople that you might have a friend that can come through and just go through it with a fine-tooth comb yourself, checking plugs, checking plumbing.
Anyone in construction, electrical, plumbing.
So that's all. It's not a full inspection, but it's it's at least something that you might have put you at a better comfort level when it comes to the home
and
inspection.
it depends too on the age of the house, right? So if it's an older home, you want to make sure you get that extra set of eyes. If it's only 2 years and it has that carry-on warranty still, then maybe you might want to take that risk. And not go ahead and do that home inspection.
So the other big one is, how do you pick the price? So someone's listed a house, and someone said the other day, oh, everybody's underpricing houses. Well, the agents are not underpricing houses. they're pricing them where they should be, and then it's
At normal market value.
yeah,
right?
yeah, and it's the lack of inventory and the amount of buyers that are out there that are pushing the prices up. So how do you pick the price?
So I know I'm always,
there's no clear cut answer, but
so I'm always pulling up comparables of houses sold in that area, same similar home square footage, the best we can in a regular market. So this is what it would be. So we don't want any of our clients to overpay for a house, and we want to make sure that if in 6 months to a year something happens where they get a transfer and they have to go to town and we have to sell that home, we want to make sure we can get that money back out of it. So it's tough because it can be a few thousand over to
we've seen 60, 70,000 over asking price, so it's hard, and one of the biggest concerns with overbidding on a property is when it comes down to it, and if the house is, say, listed at $250 and it ends up selling for $290, and then the bank calls for an appraisal. Well, if the bank says has an appraisal and says it's only worth $270, well, all of a sudden you have to come up with that $20,000 in cash, to put down. And if you have it, that's fine. But if you don't, then you put yourself in a bit of a situation. So that's something to think about, and sometimes you just have to stand your ground. You come in with a clean offer. You make a bid that you think is the right price, and that your agent thinks it's the right price, and you feel maybe going over a little bit, but like sometimes you just can't compete with people who are making foolish, not foolish, maybe not the right word, but
it's an emotional decision, right? It's like an auction when you have your paddle and something, and you're bidding against something, and you really want it, but you're overpaying for this because you want to win it, right? So a lot of times you're dealing with it emotional. So I think it's a realtor's job to
it's hard when you lose a few, and that's what happens. Someone who's lost 2 or 3, and then they're on that 4th one, and they bid too much. And what's the first question people say when they get the house? Did
I overpay?
Every single time, people, it's the first thing, they're happy. They're like, oh my God, I got it. Did I pay too much? Well, maybe you did. I don't know. But it's it's hard to. You get over that because you got it, and 10 other people didn't get it, so usually it ends up being pretty close. But we've been on both sides, so we know the emotions.
It's a tough situation to be in, but that's where mostly all the buyers are, really. So anyway, that was we wanted to touch on that, but thanks again for joining us. And if you have any questions about competing offers or anything real estate, just send your questions to info@theaimsteam.ca.
Okay, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.